Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Virtual Realms YouTube channel. I am your host, Ranger 1. I had promised you that I was going to bring you a second Terminator video before the next early access phase started, and here it is. This match actually took place only a few matches after the first one. I have managed to unlock a couple of things on the vehicle, but it's nowhere near vetted. By this time, I've learned to relax a bit playing the Terminator and not worry so much about the number of kills that I got. Some of its weapon systems, its missiles in particular, take so long to reload, and well, the travel times involved mean that often while I would do the bulk of the damage to the enemy vehicles, I wouldn't be the person who would walk away with the kill. And I was okay with that. I was still earning excellent rewards just for the sheer amount of damage that I was inflicting. Case in point, this first round of the mission I am currently doing, I contented myself with playing the objectives. I didn't end up with very many kills by the end of it, but I had done a good job and earned some respectable totals. But the first round of this mission really isn't what this video is all about. The second round started out much the same way. I went out, as is my habit, and cleared the secondary objectives first, getting them out of the way so we could concentrate on the large number of enemy forces that will appear toward the end of this mission. Once that was out of the way, I fell back and supported my team as best I could as we defended our capture points. Again, I found myself in a position where I was doing a very large amount of damage, but I just wasn't landing too many kills. So when it came time to finally advance on the final capture point and enter the really heavy combat section of this mission, well, playing the objective is a noble cause, but it can be a little tedious sometimes, so I was ready to start making up ground. I decided it might be kind of fun to see just how much I could catch up with the rest of the team before the match ended. Well, I didn't catch up all the way, but I ended up with a respectable number of kills nonetheless. However, round 2 isn't what this video is about either. Now here's round 3. This is the round that I found interesting. And really showed off the capabilities of the Terminator, even not fully upgraded. It started off well enough. We're charging to the attack. One of my teammates hasn't loaded. I'm going to go over this car and immediately get myself high-centered. Isn't it funny how sometimes the best matches start off the absolute worst they possibly can? I was mortified. I could not believe I was stuck here in the middle of everything with very little cover. The only cover I have is destructible cover, and I'm going to have to blow away most of it if I'm going to do any good during this match. And I can't move. I'm going to ask the team for a push, but in the heat of combat, nobody saw my message. So I'm just going to have to do what good I can from here. To make matters worse, as I'm laying in a barrage of fire on that Stingray, my teammate in the other Terminator takes that moment to drive directly into my line of fire. And the really bad part about that is he doesn't move after that. Although the damage done to him was very minor, he disconnects from the match. Now, I don't know if he got angry and just threw his toys out of the pram, as they say, and clicked out, or, and I find it much more likely, we had players having connection issues throughout this match, lagging out, and I think that may be the case. He may have simply lost control of his vehicle, which would explain why he pulled directly in front of me like that, and finally lost connection completely and had to leave the match because he had no choice. I'd like to think that he had played very well up until this point in the match. So there's that. We are down a Terminator and an AMX 10P90. We've got a swing fire. Me, well, we just lost the T-72. So it's a swing fire and myself. And I'm trapped out in the open. This is going to get interesting. Now, I've run a swing fire in these matches before, and it's not ideal. You have to be very careful to keep it alive. And it's difficult to get a very high number of kills, but it is possible. The saving grace in all this is Churchill Croc, the swing fire driver. He's very good. He knows when not to stick his neck out and get his face blown off, and when to give as much support as he can. And keep an eye on him throughout this battle. He's going to do a very, very good job. Now he's moving forward. I cannot get a shot at that BMD-4 over there. And it's doesn't seem to be inclined to come out, at least not at this point in time. So the swing fire moves forward, keeps his concealment, and lobs in a couple of missiles over the edge of that hill. Perfect kill. That's great use of the swing fire's capabilities. And I watch as he turns and it's further into the map, and I'm thinking, you know what? He doesn't realize that I'm stuck here, so in desperation, real quickly, I try again. I let him know that I'm stuck and I need a push. That other Terminator right behind me looks like he's still in the match, so maybe he thought that fellow was going to give me a hand. He just didn't realize it's only me and him right now. So I let him know that I'm high-centered on this car, so he knows what the problem is. He's going to come around. I'm going to keep a lookout here as best I can. I think we've cleared the enemy tanks out for the moment. He sizes up the situation. His vehicle is not the most durable in the world, so he's going to have to be a little bit careful with this. But I think he chose the best course of action. He comes around in front so that my stronger front armor is facing him. His stronger front armor is facing me. And he gives it all he's got. That little swing fire doesn't have a whole lot of horsepower, but it's got just enough to start easing me off this car. Of course, I'm going in full reverse at this point in time, too. He's going to have to be really careful not to get stuck himself, though. And finally, it gives way. He stops. Perfect. That was pretty well done. I had pretty much written off this mission as being a failure. But seeing that he's pretty competent and knows how to use his vehicle, I decide, what the heck? We've got nothing to lose. Let's go for it and see just how far we can take things in this match. Now, since I'm still rolling with stock ammunition, I know this isn't going to be easy, but I established two priorities in my head right now. The second one is that I'm going to play this match out normally. I'm going to try and pick off all the secondary objectives and then try to win the match, of course, normally. But my first priority, I'm going to keep Church alive. The man bailed me out when I needed it, and I'm not going to forget that. So far, we've been working together pretty well. He's been doing an excellent job of spotting and laying in support fire, and I've been doing my part by taking objectives and keeping him from being overrun. There's only one more secondary objective left, and as I head toward it, without a word between us, Church immediately moves to back my play. "13 points left? Really? How typical." Well, it doesn't take much to finish him off. I'm going to have to watch it a little bit. I've been soaking up a little bit of damage here and there, and it's starting to accumulate. But I need to keep myself between the enemy tanks and Church. I can take the hits. He can't. But by the same token, the heaviest fighting is yet to come, and I'm not going to do either one of us any good if I mess around and get myself killed. It's now time for us to advance on the final and primary objective, their base. Church is going to wisely hold up just a little bit here and let me move out in front. We both know the closer we get to the final objective, the more enemy tanks are going to spawn, many of them in flanking positions, which is going to make Church particularly vulnerable during this part of the attack. I'm going to have to stay pretty heads up if I'm going to keep us both alive. And Church is going to have to stay pretty heads up as well if he's going to keep me between him and the enemy tanks. So far, I've managed to keep the enemy tanks from flanking Church, although to be perfectly honest, he's done a really good job of keeping himself alive at the same time. He has taken some additional damage though, as have I, so I'm going to go ahead and capture now. I'm at the point where I don't care if I get the last few vehicles in this match or not. However, I do need to take out these artillery pieces. We are potentially a one-shot kill, either one of us, if we get hit by those fellas. Alright, those two are down. There's another tank over there, but I'm not too concerned about him. We're just going to go ahead and stay alive and win the match. Church, it was a pleasure, and I will play with you anytime. The Terminator that I'm running is a Tier 6, and it's an exclusive vehicle that will be available to the general public a year after open beta starts. But I can hardly wait to see what the standard version of the Terminator is going to be like, because it's going to be Tier 8, and it should be pretty impressive. That's all I've got for you for right now. Until I see you guys again, good hunting. Thanks for watching. I hope you were entertained. If you liked the video, please remember to subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you. And I'll see you next time.